So this is Christmas. I hope you had fun. Okay, yes, you can tell by the decor when this was being recorded. And I want to talk about another Christmas tradition, that is the Christmas Doctor Who story. In this case, Twice Upon a Time. And I'm going to be upfront, I'm going to be bold and say I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. I stuck with it from beginning to end. But what I didn't like was that there was a lot of potentially good ideas, and it just kind of never went anywhere, and it was surrounded by so much waffle. Let's deal with that one. Okay, so the opening preamble. I mean, you got this nice setup of the First Doctor is at Antarctic, and the episode The 10th Planet, and he's doing a bit. He's defeated the Cybermen, and he's getting old, and there's he's staggering around, and there's Ben and Polly. Now, they've made David Bradley look fantastic as the First Doctor. But we knew this. We knew this ever since we saw him in An Adventure in Space and Time, that he would be great if he just was playing the First Doctor in the official Doctor Who story. But Ben and Polly, I mean, the guy playing Ben was about a foot taller. Polly resembled Anneka Wills a bit, but the wigs were appalling. And another technical thing, Polly's dress in the 10th Planet was red, not pink. Other than that, okay, but they're not really in it much. But that's just waffle. I mean, Capaldi's opening spiel, it's just chat, and then you got Mark Gatiss. I think Mark Gatiss was very good. It's his best, I think, guest role in Doctor Who thus far. And he put in a very good performance. But it was just waffle. They just like dialogue that just never goes anywhere. Never really gives you a big insight. He spends a lot of the time musing on the nature of death. He only has to say it once, and we understand the character. We don't need it over and over again. Not everything that comes out of his mouth. Everything that came out of his mouth in that episode was either him musing on impending death, or him going, "Oh, I say, are you two chaps the same person? I don't understand all the big on the inside out." The usual noob to the TARDIS spiel. And they were just waffle. Capaldi's end monologue was waffle. Didn't he restated Terrance Dicks's mantra about the Doctor? He's never cruel, never cowardly. It's just waffle. It really was. It just didn't lead anywhere. There's so much of the dialogue. Just yeah, and your point is, and now you're going over the same point, and the same point yet again. So there was that, but buried in it, there were these nuggets of good ideas. So you've got these two Doctors, the first and the 13th, and they're holding back their regeneration. They don't want to regenerate, but why? And you get a snippet with the First Doctor that one of the reasons he left Gallifrey was that he is thinking about the nature of good and evil, that from his deductive logical reasoning, evil should triumph every time, and yet good triumphs. And one of his spurs to go out and explore space and time against the orders of the Time Lords is this quest to understand it. And that kind of fits with the character of the First Doctor. Now, Capaldi's reasons for withholding his regeneration are really vague, and when the two First and 13th are on screen, they're just vague as anything about it. I've only seen Twice Upon a Time once. I didn't quite get why Capaldi was reluctant to regenerate. A lot of time spent with Bill, the glass lady. What you think is the threatening alien of the week, which turns out to be something entirely different. So yeah, stuff about memory and death. It's nice. It just wasn't developed properly. Now, I've had time to brood on this, and here's what I think could have been better. I just think, I don't know, Moffat was losing it. I have high regard for Moffat's writing, and it goes before Doctor Who, when he was doing Press Gang. I like Moffat's writing, but he was just ideas half baked. I think he wrote this with one foot out the door. really. So here's what I think was interesting, how they could have developed it. So the First Doctor is reluctant to regenerate, and one of the things is that he's on this quest to understand the nature of good and evil and why good triumphs in when logically evil should triumph, because that's possibly, the orthodox belief on Gallifrey. They've sort of shut themselves off from the universe, so, and they've become very amoral, the Time Lords. So he's on this quest, and this fits in with the First Doctor. Very first few stories, the First Doctor is quite ruthless, nasty, capable of murder in Unearthly Child. He abducts Ian and Susan. A couple of episodes later, he's thinking of killing one of the cavemen because the caveman's inconvenient. And in the Daleks as well, his concern for the Thals is non-existent until kind of later on. Then he decides to pick up the fight because he hates the Daleks more. But he has to be cajoled by Ian and Barbara into helping the Thals. And it's not until a few stories in that he starts understanding how he can be a positive force, how people will look up to him, and how he will can be a benefit to all the civilizations and species out there. And he learns that. That's his arc. And I can understand. Just bear this one in mind. What if he gets to the end of his life and the body's wearing a bit thin? And he thinks he's never been through regeneration. This is where the story should have been. It should have been about number 13, helping number 1 through his regeneration and then learning something in the process. Two men should have helped each other a lot more than they do in this story. So the Doctor's getting to the end of his life and he doesn't want to regenerate. Why? Because what comes after him? What if the second Doctor isn't motivated in this quest for good triumphing over evil? What if the second Doctor just wants to go back to Gallifrey? The first Doctor's figured out the meaning of life, the universe and everything. What if his successor ruins that and then 13 can come along and say, no, don't you understand? You're just the beginning of a journey. Your successors will carry this. Your immediate successor will carry on your legacy. And then your third and fourth, they will all, I stand as testimony to your legacy. Oh, it should have been a First Doctor tribute. It should have been a celebration. You've got David Bradley there. You can have this great moment. You were the first. You were the original. And how can one help 13? Well, what's 13 lacking? This is basic script writing. The protagonist should have a problem, needs something that they need to overcome if they are to progress, if they are to achieve triumph at the end of the story. And what's 13's problem need? Is that he's had his memory of Clara erased. This whole thing about memory. And they do this Deus Ex Machina. They just bring Clara, well, okay, you can have your memories of Clara back. Oh, well, that's nice. Oh, look, Jenna Louise Coleman's come back. Yes, and we can do a proper goodbye to her, just like we did with Amy Pond after 11's regeneration. So, it was, they had this potential and they squandered it. And just a quick thing about the regeneration into Jodie Whittaker. I think number's 14 on this one, or 13, but it was so bland. It's my criticism of Jodie Whittaker's casting as the Doctor. Her publicity photos all look bland. She's like, in the publicity photos, expressionless face, and then there's the Mork and Mindy outfit, and then in this one, well, I know this isn't spoilers. You all know she was going to turn into Jodie Whittaker. But she just kind of looks and goes, brilliant, as if she's channeling Christopher Eccleston doing a fantastic. And then the TARDIS explosion, she falls out and it's, I wish they gave us a couple of minutes. Less of the World War I stuff. It was all very touching and emotion, but you didn't need that much. Felt like padding, really. They've got all these extras. They've made this wonderful set and everything, so let's milk it. They should have just given us a couple of minutes. I still don't know what Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is going to be like. Expressionless, bland publicity photos, and we get nothing from the end. At least, with Matt Smith, he 1 minute just to go, all that was great. I got Matt Smith even before he had his first proper episode. So, yeah, overall, didn't like it, and my decision to kind of check out from Doctor Who from now on seems to make more sense. Okay, until next time, bye.